Wow.
Wow, this is some really deep stuff.
I don't know what just happened, but something happened inside of me. Something snapped, something.
I wasn't expecting that
either. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's beautiful.
Monster is like really small, but it had to become that to stop me.
And then her child became present when you mentioned it.
And I didn't realize this until now.
There were things that I didn't remember until now.
It's funny. I haven't seen that before.
It feels like I'm the monster. I'm kind of seeing images of things, of a world where they can exist. This clarity brings all kinds of answers.
It's clear. She hugged me and then went back to her place, I guess, in my heart. Oh, it wants to come out. It wants to bippity boppity boop Cinderella me. She's melted into my chest. It's ooey gooey.
All week been finishing things, cleaning up more, started eating vegetables again last week. And it kind of just started happening. It's almost like I just finished going through a meditation session.
I feel light. When you hit that first joint, in the morning, and
I actually feel a lot more awake.
Part of you'd like to get to know, or explore, or change your relationship with today?
Yes. I'm not sure what. Maybe I can talk a little bit.
Please.
So, as I mentioned before, I've been feeling this, a peace from healing trauma, in my chest, kind of a release. So I feel that, but then I also feel all these other parts. I guess I kind of thought that once that's healed, then I'll just be free. And, I think I might have mentioned this.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything will be roses and I won't have any problems or issues or whatever, but it's strange because I feel this peace, but then I also just feel like I want to stay inside and I feel just scared to expose myself to the world. I feel terrified. I even feel afraid of admitting that I have the peace because then I'm afraid it's gonna go away.
Yeah.
And if I get used to it, then I'm gonna screw it up and it's gonna go away. And if I meet new people and then I don't have strong boundaries or protect myself, it's gonna go away.
Yeah.
Or even if I just have all these fears that are kind of keeping me frozen and inside the house and just afraid to really do anything but just kind of numb with TV or weed.
Mm-hmm.
And since I've been sick, that's been even more so, just being isolated because I'm sick. So
yeah.
I mean, I'm feeling better today, so I think I'll be able to get out. But now it's raining also, so
yeah. Okay. It's interesting that you talked about a part that is afraid to even talk about or admit what another part might be feeling, because then it might go away, and then it might be changed or Yeah. I have that too.
Yeah.
Sometimes. So yeah, a part that was hoping once certain traumas were healed or parts unburdened that you would be free, a part that maybe had expectations around what that would look like.
Yeah.
And then terror of exposure to the world.
Yeah.
Okay. Which of those do you feel like needs your attention first?
Maybe the last part you mentioned, that's terrified of exposure to the world.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And where do you notice that in or around your body?
Like in my chest, throat, and face.
Mm-hmm. And how do you feel towards it as you notice it there?
I feel mostly compassionate. I mean, there's definitely a part that's judging that and saying, you know, get over it.
Mm-hmm.
What's your problem? Uh, you're being a baby, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And that part that has that message of being a baby, is that a part we can ask for some space, or do you think we should try to get to know that part more first? Or maybe just by asking it for space, we'll find out.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Giving it space.
Great.
It'll give us space.
Great. Okay. So what is this part that this feeling in the chest, throat, face, fear of exposure to the world, what does it want you to know about it? Or just to know?
Okay. It wants me to know that it's like, I don't trust you to protect me. It's like, I know you've changed, but I don't trust you to have boundaries and protect us from people who want to hurt us, and like the people did in the whole movie situation, and in other situations too, where intellectually now I know that I have the power to protect myself, because at those times I wasn't in touch with my intuition or trusting my gut or having boundaries. And I'm saying this to remind myself that, I do have the power to protect myself because of, boundaries and that stuff. But so intellectually I get it, but, this part still is just like, it's going to happen again. People are just going to come in and you're not going to know how to have boundaries or listen to your gut, and then we're going to end up in a depression for 4 years again.
And how do you feel hearing that from it?
I get it. I mean, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay. And can you show that to this part? Does it know that you get it?
Okay. Yeah. It sees that I get it.
Is there more to learn about what fears it has? I mean, it talks about this depression and this 4 years, and it sounds like that's vivid for you. But I'm wondering if there's more that it wants to say about its concerns.
Okay. Yeah. Just that it's concerned that anyone or everyone we let in will just end up hurting or disappointing us.
Mm-hmm.
So it's safer to just not even try.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wondering what this part, what it needs from you to be able to, I don't know, just feel better or to trust. I don't know how to put this. Let me think.
Okay.
You can feel free to go your own way with what question is next. Well, I think one reason that I'm kind of hesitating here is like I have that part, and I have that part too that just wants me to stay inside, stay away from people.
Yeah.
And it makes a lot of sense to me. And trying to think how I talk to it.
Mm.
Yeah, I think for me, I would keep asking about those fears, and to get maybe even more vivid with it, like what would happen if it wasn't doing what it's doing now in you, and if it were to kind of relinquish that degree of energy that it's sending you.
Mm. Yeah, she's afraid that if she doesn't have this tight control, like this constant worrying and obsessing, that like she's holding everything together by doing that. And then if she relaxes or let go, that just everything's gonna like explode.
Yeah. And how are you being with this part now? Do you feel close to it?
Not too close, maybe like 10 feet away.
Yeah. We'll see if you can get closer if that feels right with you. And just only with the purpose to understand it and to show it your appreciation for its intention.
Yeah, there's a part that's coming up that's frustrated with this part for being controlling and for needing things to be this certain way and for keeping me stuck.
Yeah.
That's what this other part is feeling.
Should we talk to that part?
Yeah.
Or, okay. And what else does it want you to know?
It's like, it's kind of judgmental, kind of sounds like like a New York Italian or something. Like she's crazy. She's like, she's got to control everything. She has to have everything her way. We have to walk on eggshells around her. We can't do anything. We can't go anywhere.
Is this the same part that says she's a baby?
Probably. Let's see. No, I feel like this part isn't like, it feels like he kind of gets why she's emotional. He isn't so judgmental about the why. It's more the effects of the actions, the protective behavior.
Yeah.
It's not so shaming, I guess, just more frustrated.
Frustrated that it doesn't seem logical. It's overreacting.
Yeah.
Okay. And how about that part's fears? What is it worried about if it doesn't come in and say that this part's crazy?
He's like afraid, like it's like, oh, she's trying to prevent the sinking of the ship, but she's going to sink the ship by trying so hard to protect it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So let that part know that that makes sense to you also. And how about your proximity with this part?
We're close, like talking distance or standing next to each other.
And you're able to, can you show it some appreciation for it's looking out for keeping that ship from sinking?
Okay. It's saying like, well, I'm trying to keep the ship from sinking, but I'm not really. It's like, it's out of my hands.
Yeah. I was listening about a practice of picturing that you're kind of holding each of these parts, like maybe one in each hand, or just some way that you can kind of feel each of their weights and each of their qualities. And try you've expressed to both of them that you understand where they're coming from and you've shown them appreciation, and see if you can kind of play with what it feels like to do that simultaneously if you can. If that sounds like too much or you're having difficulty, that's fine. Wonder how that goes for you. And
To
them.
hold them in my hand?
Yeah, and to consider appreciating them both at once and just kind of noticing the different qualities that they both have while appreciating them both.
Well, I wasn't able to connect too much physically to the holding in my hands, but I did imagine, kind of imagine that them being in the same space, and I was talking to that New York Italian part and saying, and you know, he's saying like, I love you. I want to protect you. I want to help you. And I'm like, you know, thank you so much. But sometimes that it just stresses me out and makes it even harder.
Yeah.
For me, you know, like, thank you for trying to help. It just sometimes makes it worse.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, I hear you. And, that felt kind of like we hugged, and that felt like a kind of a healing of that relationship.
Mm-hmm. The other part's still more distant.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe just staying with that New York Italian part then. What would this part rather be doing with its energy?
He's like a manager, so he likes to organize and get things done. And you know, there's stuff I need to be doing, like building the website and that kind of stuff. He would like organizing and you know, doing that kind of stuff.
Okay. And how old does he think you are?
He thinks I'm young, like 15.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and update him on your real age.
is surprised.
And what would he like from you in the future?
It wants me to help the other part feel safe, that so that he can do, so that he doesn't have to worry about it.
That's so awesome. I mean,
Yeah,
that's so
well,
awesome. That's great. Does he need anything? What does he need to be able to trust you to do that?
I mean, he's a New Yorker, so he's like, don't talk about it, just do it.
Yeah, okay. All right. Okay. Was there more to talk about with that part, or would it make sense to turn back to the other one?
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
So this is the part that's worried that you won't be able to protect yourself, or that you'll let the wrong people in, you'll get hurt.
Yeah.
Can you see this part now?
Yeah.
Can you see its age?
Yeah, she's young. Well, let me ask. I think she's 5.
Okay. Are you able to get closer now?
Yeah. And it's like she's working this machine where you have to use all 4 limbs, and like all 4 limbs are doing something separate at the same time, just to keep everything going.
Yeah. And how do you feel towards her, seeing her working so hard doing that?
I feel compassionate and curious. It's a lot of it's exhausting.
Yeah. And is she aware of you there?
No.
See if you can introduce yourself and just invite her to talk to you.
Okay. Yeah, she can talk, but she's busy.
Yeah.
She can talk and work though.
Yeah. So you could ask what more about why she's so busy, and maybe beyond that, what what would happen if she stopped.
Okay. So she's busy, constantly weighing scenarios of what could happen and how to prevent it, and just constantly that hypervigilance and assessing and planning and avoiding and escaping. And
Yeah. You could try asking her if she feels like you get it, if you understand her position, her job, or if there's more that she needs to show you about it.
okay. Yeah, I think it's like she's shown me that, like, watching TV or smoking weed kind of gives me like a mental break from all of that work.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I'm doing that, like during that specific time, then I'm at least safe, and no one can hurt me, and I don't have to be, hyper vigilant.
Mm-hmm. You could just see if you can get her attention more, and maybe just kind of more introduce yourself and show her your age. See if you can get her to just whatever you can do to get closer.
Okay. Yes, she feels like I'm trying to think of there's an image, like like I mentioned, she's using all four of her limbs, and it's almost like she's on an exercise bike that she also has to do arm. She's also moving the arms and the legs,
Mm-hmm.
and that by doing all that, she's powering the whole ship.
Huh.
And if she stops, then the ship stops. That's what she feels or is afraid of. And it just will shut down, completely shut down. And I was telling her that, my age, and that I'm actually able to, that she doesn't have to do that anymore. That I am able to set boundaries and protect myself. She's just not sure she can believe it.
Yeah. Well, you can let her know that, like, right now and earlier, like, when she's activated, you feel her energy, right?
Yeah.
So if she ever feels like she needs to communicate something with you, you can receive that. You can be open to that. And if she's really good at this particular job, there's some thing that she's great at looking out for, like, she could still do that if she wanted.
Mm.
I mean, she would still have a voice.
Yeah.
You might ask what she would rather be doing, where she would rather be, and maybe just offer, just for now, like, just try it for 10 minutes kind of thing, just to experiment, letting you take over for a little while and letting her relax.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of made a deal that I can be in charge, but she can be with me so that if she's concerned, she can, if she thinks I'm missing something, then she can give me a little poke or pinch and say, hey,
How's she like that?
She likes that.
And how are you being with her now?
We're like standing next to each other,
Yeah.
holding hands.
Okay.
Well, actually, she's like standing behind me a little bit.
Have you tried holding her? Is she open to that?
She wants to be like on my back
Uh-huh.
so that she can see
Yeah.
what I see.
The best of both. Holding and looking out.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Good. I like it.
Yeah, I guess, you could just let her know that she can stay there. She doesn't have to go back to the old job. She doesn't have to work alone.
Okay.
And that you see the other parts that have been kind of hard on her, and that you're working with them, and that even those other parts don't want her doing all that. That they don't want her stuck in that role either.
Yeah.
Like, they want to see her with you.
Yeah.
Well, what's next? I mean, does she feel like she's stuck in a place in time, or is there sensations of her body that she'd like to let go of? What else can you do for her?
Okay. Yeah, I think she's a little bit stuck in time.
Yeah. Yeah, you could just invite her to go anywhere else. You can go to any fantasy place or come be with you in the present. Where would she like to be? When would she like to be?
Okay. Yeah, she'd like to come with me to the present and go to the house on the lake.
Great. Great, yeah. Go ahead and take her there and let her know she doesn't have to go back.
Yeah, she likes it.
Okay. And are there feelings in her body that she'd like to let go of, to get rid of?
Yeah.
Go ahead and help her set that up. Would you like to give them up to air, fire, water, anything at all?
Okay. I think the earth.
Okay. Can you help her set that up? Facilitate that?
Yeah.
Yeah, what does she need to get out? And just help her get it all out.
Okay. Okay.
How's she feeling now?
Calmer. Better.
Is there anything she'd like to invite into her body? Other qualities or powers or
Yeah. Patience. Um, calm for it to continue.
yeah.
Trust. Faith.
Yeah. Yeah. And that trust part, I guess that would be a very important question to figure out what it is she needs from you going forward so that she really feels like she doesn't have to go back there.
Okay. I think she needs to be able to express herself and her fears, and for me to hear them.
Yeah. Is there a specific way that would look like, or do you see how you might help that happen?
I think, when I'm feeling her, when I'm feeling anxious, to maybe sit down and write about it,
Hmm?
and let her get it out.
Okay. Is she approving of that? Does that sound good to her, or is there something else?
Yeah.
Okay. I know last week we talked about doing check-ins.
Yeah.
How did that go?
That's gone better.
Really?
Yeah. I
Awesome.
still get easily distracted, but I am able to at least start to check in. Whereas before it just felt like silence.
That's
And
great.
so now I'm at least able to connect. But then as I start asking questions, and my mind starts to drift off. But
Yeah.
I feel hopeful that maybe as I do it more, it'll get easier.
Yeah. Yeah, and you could, like with this part, you could just have a target that you check in with every day, whether it's this part or another one. This one needs you, and you're trying to form a relationship with, and you could just make a note of that, or I don't know, whatever works for you in this part.
Okay.
Yeah. How's it all feel in there?
It all feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do you want to help bring more self-energy to the world? If you'd like to participate in calls or help out with this project in any way, I'd love to hear your ideas. Join the Discord server or contact me at james@liveifs.com. A huge thanks to our audio engineer, Zikri, for your care and diligence in editing the calls. To every caller for your courage in sharing some of your parts. And to anyone out there getting to know their internal system, keep going. Who knows? That might be the most selfless, helpful thing you can do for others, and you're the only one who can do it. If you'd like to see us reach the largest audience, we must please the almighty suggestion algorithms at iTunes and YouTube. And they don't care about the power of IFS. They're looking for likes and shares and comments, and the sooner the better. Follow the links in the show notes right here in your podcast player to make your wishes known. And now, a minute of meditation. Or if you prefer, pull over. You can do it in 60 seconds. Just click one of those links. They're right there, and give us a like or a 5-star rating. It would really help. If you think this project is helping people, you're helping people by sharing it. Thank you.